Good day, everybody. It's actually morning for me, and the high temps have subsided. It's actually like 60 degrees out this morning, so I think we'll fire up the furnace for a little bit to talk about my Chinese diesel heater that I have in my fish house here. It's a simple system. I don't have a whole lot of space here, but the 2kW version that I bought on Amazon is way more than enough to actually heat this space. It'll cook you out at anything over medium, unless it's like way below zero. So usually, like if it's like 25 degrees out and we're ice fishing, I've got a window open and the heater's on low, and it'll cook us out. But anyway, I'll show you the heater here and how I installed it, and then I'll show you some extra features I did to it to make it a little nicer for my application. Okay, so first off, I want to say that this is like a 3-day system, the way I have everything set up. The battery system will last 3 to 4 days, running lights. I got my LED lights up here. I've got an outdoor light, that's on those switches. I've got a TV, and that goes off of my inverter. That's still in the trash can because I'm still working on things. I don't have it mounted. Still waiting for my upgraded wire and stuff to show up. But like I said in my last video also, I ran the ductwork through the bottom of this bunk, through the battery compartment to keep my batteries warm. And now we'll come over here to the diesel furnace or diesel heater. Mine is a Vivor brand. They come in a lot of different brands. They're pretty much all made in the same factory in China. They just have different cases with different brand name stickers on them. Some of them even have the same case and color, just a different sticker. Excuse my allergies. So this is my diesel heater. I have it wired in. There's a lot of wires here, but my main wires, the positive goes to the positive bus bar, and the negative goes to the negative bus bar over here, and then the furnace takes care of the rest. Follow this over here. I actually have the wire ran along here, and then it pops out over here to the diesel furnace controller. These are kind of finicky and they're all different, so I can't really give you a whole lot of information specifically about them, because it seems like these furnaces come with like, okay, so that's all the way up high, but they come with a bunch of different controllers. I'm going to turn mine down pretty low here to 2, and then if I press and hold the middle button, it's going to start. It's in the starting process right now. So there is a glow plug inside the diesel furnace that heats it up, and when this thing is starting, it pulls about 10 to 12 amps of 12 volt. You'll see that I have it mounted on this metal piece here, and I did not paint it. It's rusting a little bit of flash rust, but that's okay. This mount came with it, but it spreads out quite a bit of heat, so I wanted a metal mount to put this on. Also, quick note, these can be mounted 2 ways, but either way you mount it, the glow plug has to be on top. This glow plug is right underneath my finger, so either you can mount it this way or this way. That's how that works. Now, on the other side here, this silvery wrapped is the exhaust, where the diesel fumes exhaust out of, and the black one is where the fresh air comes in. This is a closed combustion chamber, meaning that no exhaust from inside the heater goes inside. This air comes in this side, comes through the case, gets heated up by the furnace, and blown out through the ductwork. Now, you'll notice that the lights are flickering just a little bit, possibly. That is the pulse pump kicking on in the very beginning here. I don't know if you can hear it, but you can see the bubbles. That's the diesel line coming in, and it all comes in the back of the bottom side of the furnace here. And then I just have it coming through the wall here through a piece of plastic You can use conduit. I use some irrigation pipe because it's just what I happen to have. And then there's some wiring for the pulse pump out there. I have a 2.5 gallon diesel tank outside that holds all my diesel. That'll run for about 3 days. My idea was that I could run for a complete weekend without having to leave to get any diesel or to charge my batteries if I didn't have to, with no inputs. With solar, I could extend my electrical, but otherwise the furnace is good for 3 days. I have room in where I have the diesel tank to add another 2 gallon carry can of diesel to get me by even longer if I wanted. I usually have one in there, and I also have a 2 gallon gas can for my generator, which I don't really have to use at this point. But anyway, it's a pretty good system, and I'll take you outside and I'll show you the exhaust and intake port on the outside of the fish house, and I'll also show you that fuel tank setup that I have. Alright, so here we are next to the outside of the fish house. You see my siding's buckling a little bit. I'm going to have to deal with that soon. But this is the exhaust. That's the intake. This gets pretty hot, but with this through-hull fitting that I got off of Amazon, my siding doesn't get hot at all. And it also protects, you can see it goes in some, it protects the insulation and everything on the inside too. You still want to clear the insulation away so that you can get at things, and just for a safety factor. I used another one here for the intake, which makes things pretty nice also, and it looks really clean. Now I'll come over here to where I have the fuel tank, and that's a 2.5 gallon, I don't remember exactly. I call that my day tank, and then this is my reserve, my extra. And you hear that clicking, that is the pulse pump, which feeds the diesel furnace, and each time it just gives it a little shot of diesel, and that'll last, again, like I said, 3 days, maybe 4 days, 3.5 days if I run it really super low. And I've got it inside this really convenient aluminum toolbox that also locks, so nobody can really mess with it. And you can see that plastic irrigation pipe that I use that goes through the wall and into the toolbox. Alrighty, so that's the diesel furnace in my fish house. It's a pretty good system. I really like it. I've used it for 2 years now, and it's worked really well. It's still kind of set up like I had it when I was experimenting, but with a few slight changes, it's become kind of a permanent setup now. I really like how it works. I definitely recommend using the exhaust wrap. That helps with the heat of the exhaust pipe. I was worried about if something were to get in that compartment and fall against there, that it might catch fire. That exhaust wrap really helps. That actually started off black, but it got so hot that it turned that silvery color. There's a stainless pipe inside there that the exhaust runs through. It's a stainless exhaust. That's what came with the diesel furnace. It works okay. I did have to upgrade the clamps on the exhaust because the clamps that came with it were not good enough quality to handle the heat. So I got some heavy duty stainless ones that work a lot better. And see, you can probably hear it. It's kicked all the way up on high right now to cool itself off. It's in the shutdown process. I don't know what else really to say about it. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I'm happy to answer them from my experience. These things are so cheap, they're kind of a throwaway unit. You can kind of fix them for relatively cheap, but I think I paid $100 for this one. Maybe 120 is what they're at now. They might be a little more. They go on sale every once in a while too. But anyway, they're fairly cheap, so if they die on you, throw in another one, I guess. That's kind of how it goes. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, remember, drop them down below.